Hello children, my name is Archana and welcome to my class. This is for 10th class syllabus and we are continuing our history portion. We are in lesson number 12th. Today we will discuss the cause of the economic depression. What were the cause of the economic depression that happened in the year 1929 and continued till 1939? So there were many causes and there were many theories behind it that was put forward by them. Let us start. I will start with a Marxist theory. Now we can see, according to Marxist, due to capitalism and could be prevented by establishing socialism. So what does Marxist theory say? That it is due to the capitalist system in a country that creates economic depression, because wherever capitalism is there, they are always concentrating on profit making and less concerned about the people. So this may happen. And another theory that is given by J.M. Keynes. He is a well-known economist. What did he say? He said that it is the state's responsibility to control if there is an economic depression. And whenever there is economic depression, that is due to the capitalism or any other reason, and due to these reasons, if there is a decrease in the demand, then the state should create demand and supply circulation. If there is a demand and if the people have purchasing power, then there will be supply by creating industrial production. So it is the state's responsibility to create demand and supply flow in the country. And the state should invest fund in creating jobs for the employment, so that the people's purchasing power can be increased and there should be a flow and demand supply in a country. Now the topic is, children, how the economic depression should be dealt with. What are the remedies to rectify the economic depression? We can see in US, that is United States, President Roosevelt started some scheme that is called New Deal, and it is based on 3 R's, that is relief, recovery and reform. Relief, recovery and reform. The president said that there should be an immediate help to the people, those who have suffered at the hand of the World War. So there should be immediate relief. In what way we should give relief to the public? That the immediate food supply should be there, the basic necessity of the life should be provided, like housing and clothing and food and shelter. Another thing, unemployment should be reduced. The government should create job to give employment to the public, and benefits should be given for the unemployed, for the old age and the handicapped. And the president should take care of the children who have lost their parents in the World War, health and education. All these beneficial schemes should be started by the government. Another thing is reform. Government should immediately interfere and should reform the economy of the country by undertaking nationalization of bank and nationalization of public sector, private sector. Private sector should be made public, so that there should be equal distribution of wealth to all the people of the country, and there should not be concentration of wealth in a few hands. So in this way, government should try to reform in the economy. And there should recovery. There should be immediate recovery, that the jobs should be created. Government started social security system, that is universal retirement pension, unemployment insurance, welfare benefits for handicapped and needy and orphans. In this way, we can see that to a much extent the US economy was rectified and improved by the intervention of President Roosevelt in his country. Some other European countries like United Kingdom, he had started welfare scheme much before the economic depression. In this way, if the government intervention is there, then much ups and downs in the economy can be controlled by the state, and that state is going to suffer less due to this type of economic depression. Now let us sum up. Remedy of economic depression. Roosevelt, who was the president of US, he started a new scheme that is called New Deal. And this New Deal is reform, relief, reform and recovery. This is also called 3Rs. So in this way we can see that with the help of New Deal, the government controlled economic depression and he introduced social security system, and much before that United Kingdom had started welfare plan. Children, the most affected country due to economic depression was Germany. Germany had lost in the First World War and it had to pay war indemnity, which was decided in the Treaty of Versailles. And it had to cut down the military power and leave some territories which it had occupied earlier. And for all this punishment, Germany government was in a great crisis. It had to print currency to fulfill the demand of the nation and as to pay for the war indemnity. So it was under a high inflation, and people were the inflation was so high that it is said that the people had to carry a cart full of currency to buy a loaf of bread, it was said. And there was unemployment everywhere. Nearly 6 million people were unemployed in Germany. And it was shown in the street that people hold a placard or they hang a placard in their neck showing that we are ready to do any kind of job. In this way we can see that what was the height of unemployment in Germany. The youths were sitting in the corner of the street and they were playing cards, and they were so idle that criminal cases was a big rise in Germany. So there was unemployment, inflation, joblessness, and mainly the middle class people, those who were in a small business or big business, hawkers, shopkeepers, women, all these sections of the society were hard hit by the great inflation, and the life became very very hard for them. They wanted an immediate alternative. So this was the condition of Germany during inflation, and there was a sharp fall in the agriculture price because there were no buyer of agricultural crops. Only the government was buying to supply for the army. So the agriculturists, they were also at the brink of disaster, and the people were under fear and under fear of poverty and pauperization. So in this way we can see the condition of Germany. These all led to the political instability in the country. So except the organized sector where the people can manage and they were only the survivor, the other part of the society, they were suffering a lot, and they immediately wanted an alternative from this present situation. Now let us sum up the economic depression in Germany. I have comprised in a point. Let us see this. High inflation, unemployment, middle class sufferings, organized sector managed to survive only, sharp fall in agricultural price and political instability. Students, some countries had a great loss in the First World War, and they felt a great insult on the global level. So they started to restore the lost prestige of their countries, and they have started a different thought process that is called fascism. Fascism is the extreme nationalism. The only nation's interest should be first, and there should be no conflicting ideas against national interest. And they thought that this idea was the supreme idea, and they should adhere to this idea. That is called fascism. So during the first half of the 20th century, we can see that this type of idea arose, like fascism and Nazism. They were against liberalism and communism. They thought that the main reason for the defeat in the war was the liberalism and communism. These ideas only sometimes go against the national interest. So they wanted to abolish liberalism and communism. They wanted to establish a dictatorial type of government. So the government's decision should be the supreme decision, and this should always be in the interest of the nation. And they started to worship their nation like a god, and they wanted a leader that should be totally devoted to the nation and to the country. This is called extreme nationalism, and they only believed in military conquest to the neighboring countries. They gave the idea that a strong nation has the right to attack and conquer the small neighboring countries or any other part of the countries in the world. So this type of idea is called fascist idea. The state should control all the capital, and there should be no private industries. So what is fascist and Nazi idea? Let us sum up. Now see the board, student, and see the point. That is rise of fascism and Nazism in Europe. They only considered the national pride against liberalism and communism, extreme nationalism and military conquest, state control capital, and abolition of private industries. Students, this type of idea, that is fascism and nationalism, it grew mainly in Germany and Italy and Japan. So these all states were defeated, and they had to pay a heavy price for this, which was decided in the Treaty of Versailles. So they were defeated countries, and they were very much insulted on the global level. The Treaty of Versailles imposed conditions on them to suppress them. They wanted to come out from this and form a pressure on the world, and they were also going under the worldwide depression due to their defeat in First World War. At the same time, Benito Mussolini came to power in Italy in 1922, and Hitler, as a Nazi party, he came to power in Germany in 1933. General Franco came to power in Spain, and after a long military campaign, they started to form a dictatorial type of government, and they abolished total democratic state. They all were in favor of fascist idea and Nazi idea. Japan also came out with its own type of fascist idea and fascist ideology. He also believed in military conquest, and he started military conquest against China and Korea. Now come to Germany. How Hitler became so popular? Hitler promised that he is going to restore the lost prestige of Germany, which was lost in the First World War, and who was insulted at the hand of Treaty of Versailles. And he started many rituals, like his army wore green color uniform, and they hold a red color flag with a swastika emblem on it. They make 3 rounds and give a loud salute to the nation. This type of ritual was started by Hitler, and he gave the idea that Germans have the racial supremacy. They are the descendants of Aryans, so they have the right to rule over the world. They targeted minority, okay, no, and they targeted socialist, communist, and in the minority mainly Jews. And Hitler thought that Jews are the cause of all the bad happenings that is going on in their country. In 1928, Hitler got only 2.6 votes in the Reichstag, that is the lower house of Germany. The lower house of Germany is called Reichstag. In 1938, he got 37% vote. He became so popular, and as soon as he came to power, he stopped democratic institutions, started autocratic rule, arrested all the political opponents, especially the communist opponents and he sent them to concentration camp. So in this way he started a very rigorous rule in his country. On 3rd March 1933, he passed a famous Enabling Act, named Enabling Act, which was passed, which gave Hitler enormous power to the government. And due to this Enabling Act, he got the power for special surveillance by the security forces. Whoever are going against the nation, they should be caught and they should be punished. So in this way he also established stormtroopers to check whether any people are going against the nation, and he formed Gestapo, a secret state police named Gestapo, and SS, the protection squad. He formed a separate group of criminal police and the security service. They are called SD. And Germany became the most dreaded state, full of horror and fear. In this way, this type of nationalism was there both in the mind and heart of German people and to the government, that is Hitler. He called an economist named Hjalmar Sachset. Hjalmar Sachset was called for economic recovery because already he had promised many promises to the German people, and he immediately had to recover them from the going on depression. He created a state fund and invested in industrialization and job creation. He started full production for arms and ammunition, and he gave the narrative to fight for their country and for the conquest of the other country, so that the arms and ammunition which are produced in the German factory could be sold. He also did many relief work and many welfare work for the people of the Germany, and he tried to make his nation very progress during his time. World famous highway was constructed in Germany, and the popular family car is called Volkswagen. This car was also manufactured during Hitler's period. Now, all these efforts of Hitler had a great effect. The life of and standard of the German people increased because they got employment. At the same time, subhuman condition was also created for the minority people, especially the Jewish people. Their condition was never tried to improve. As I have already told you, to create job and to open the industry, he started production of arms and ammunition, and he started a regressive policy to recover the lost state. He attacked Poland in 1939, and this was the main cause of World War II. He started genocide. Genocide means mass killing of people. That is called genocide. And mass murder and mass killing whoever going against his thoughts and against nation's ideal and interest. He killed gypsies, Polish people, that is people of Poland, civilians, those who are against his ideas, and all the disabled person who were thought as a burden on Germany. So in this way, Germany became a very criminal state, full of horror and fear. He killed all the political opponents, those who were coming in the way of his work or his strategy. His killing center was called Auschwitz. He made a special killing center called Auschwitz, so that those who were going against the nation, they should be caught, imprisoned, and they should be kept in a killing center. So this was also one of the factors for starting of World War II. Now students, we will study about World War II. It was started in 1939 and ended in 1945. So we are going to learn what were the causes for World War II. The first important thing that happened for the cause of World War II was the Treaty of Versailles. Intensity of the terms. What is meant by intensity of the term? How it gave the message to the countries who were defeated in World War First. So how the punishment was given to the defeated countries, that was also one of the cause for the Second World War. So how was the intensity? The conference on peace talk took place after First World War in Versailles in 1939. It was the biggest conference and delegates from 32 countries. That means almost 3/4 of the world population. They were all invited except the defeated countries and the socialist Russia. All the countries like USA, UK, France, Italy and Japan, they all were invited in the delegation, but the defeated countries like Germany and socialist Russia and other countries, they were not invited. So this was very insulting for Germany. Now heavy penalties were inflicted on Germany. It had to return all the territories which it had conquered in 1880, like Alsace and Lorraine from France. So it has to return Alsace and Lorraine which he acquired from France in 1880. It had given order to reduce the army 900,000 to only 100,000. That much of military cut it has to obey, and no submarines were allowed, and naval strength was also reduced. He was not allowed to keep battleships, and it was felt like a diktat on Germany for the German people and the German government. So the Treaty of Versailles was one of the cause for the Second World War. Now the another cause is the failure of League of Nations. How League of Nations was established to control and to prevent the future war, but it was not able to prevent World War II, and this was a big failure for the League of Nations. League of Nations was established after First World War to prevent the future war, World War, but it was a failure of the League of Nations, and it was not able to prevent World War II. Russia and Germany, they had not member in the League of Nations, and USA, though USA was the active member in the formation of League of Nations, it had no member in the League of Nations, as the US Congress in the Parliament, they did not pass the resolution taken by Woodrow Wilson, then the president, and he gave a proposal to have to send a member in the League of Nations, but this proposal was not accepted by the US Congress. Now the League had only 58 men, that is a very less member. On the other hand, International Court of Justice was established by League of Nations so that it can give the punishment whom it find guilty for the war. But all these have no effect, and World War II happened. Germany, Japan and Italy, they all outrightly violated League of Nations agreement, and they attacked neighboring countries. So this was the also cause of the Second World War, that is the failure of League of Nations. Now what is the next cause? Now see the word German challenge to vengeful domination. This was the another cause of World War II. Germany was very much hurt, insulted and humiliated on the global front. So the insulted Germany, he had to sign the Treaty of Versailles in 1919, and they wanted to take the revenge for this insult. So the call of Hitler was a great effect on the people of Germany. They wholeheartedly accepted its government's proposal, and they all supported Hitler to start a war. So Nazi party had a great support from its own country, That's why Hitler wanted to join the Second World War. It wanted to regain the lost territories which it had to give by the agreement of Treaty of Versailles. Germany wanted to control the whole Europe under the Nazi party, and it gave the notion that they are the descendants of Aryans and supreme race, and they have right to control all over the Europe. So this was a cause for Second World War. The next cause is fear from socialism and Russia. This is another cause. We know at the end of the First World War, that is 1917, there were great revolution in Russia in the favor of socialism. They abolished democratic form of government, and the Communist Party ruled Russia, and it was influencing the whole world. So there were fear throughout Europe that the ideology of Russia may be spread throughout Europe. So the working class, they were attracted towards socialism and communism. The revolution in 1917, in which Russia became USSR, Union Soviet Socialist Republic, and it was expanding its ideology to the neighboring countries. So they formed a new government that is called communist government, that was in favor of the working class, the workers and agriculture and farmers government. They wanted immediate peace, so Russia has to withdraw from World War First. Russia had a fear from UK and USA. Okay, and UK and USA had a fear from Russia. They don't want that the communist ideology should come in their country. So they try to appease Hitler and Hitler's ideology. On the forefront, they were opposing Hitler, but on the contrary, they were appeasing Hitler. And the other reason why they were appeasing Hitler's ideology, so that there should be a warfare in the European territory, and their factories, they were producing arms and ammunition, they should be sold, and the factories should run at the cost of the war. So in this way we can see that fear from socialism in Russia was also one of the cause for World War II. Now student, come to the next point. What were the immediate cause? Apart from all these cause, there were immediate cause for the Second World War. The immediate cause of the Second World War was Germany attacked Poland in 1939, and it attacked the Danzig, the port Danzig, which is in Poland, and it tried to return to Germany. Poland had defense pact with UK. Already they were under the pact with UK, and France also joined. Fascists supported each other. So here, on the one hand, Poland had a pact with UK and France and other allied countries, and fascist countries, they had their another group. So immediately all the countries, they joined each other in this conflict. So the Axis power was Germany, Italy and Japan, and the allied power was England, US, France and USSR. In this way we can see that again two groups were made, and the whole European territories were engaged in warfare. Now we can see that when World War started in 1939, the two groups, they again divided the whole world into two parts, that is between Axis power and allied power. Japan attacked Pearl Harbor of USA. Hitler decided to attack USSR in 1942. USA and USSR joined hand and they started war against Germany and Japan. So in this way the Second World War was started and intensified. Now we will see, students, what was the end of World War II and who were defeated and who were victorious. Now let us see the point. Now first it was shown that Germany and its allied powers are going to become victorious, but it did not happen. At last Germany was defeated. Germany and its and group of Axis power, they were defeated, and they were defeated in Stalingrad. They were defeated in Stalingrad in early 1943. Soviet forces were welcomed in Eastern Europe. The whole Europe, they welcomed Soviet forces because they have given them relief from the very horrific German soldiers and troops. The capital of Germany, that is Berlin, was captured, and Hitler and his associates, they committed suicide. Germany was divided into two parts, Eastern Germany and Western Germany. Eastern Germany was called German Democratic Republic, and the West Germany was called Federal Republic of Germany. So in this way we see that Germany was divided into two parts. Japan also surrendered to USA because when it attacked Pearl Harbor, in the retaliation USA dropped atom bomb on Hiroshima and Nagasaki in 1942. With this, World War came to an end. Now when Germany was divided into two parts, that is German Democratic Republic, that is called GDR, and Western part is called Federal Republic of Germany, they are called FRG. GDR came under the influence of USSR, okay, no, that is communist influence, and FRG, Federal Republic of Germany, it was influenced by US's democratic ideology. Japan defeated, but the territory was again returned to Japanese emperor, which gave it to constitutional monarchy, and it adopted a democratic type of government like in UK, and it formed a parliament which is called Diet, D-I-E-T, Diet. Now they started Nuremberg trial. It started Nuremberg trial after the end of the World War, because to give punishment for the defeated party. Now most of the troops, those and forces, those who were captured, they were sentenced to life imprisonment. Some were given death sentence, but the punishment was given low as compared to the injustice done by the German and its group of parties to the world. In comparison to that, the punishment was very liberal and very less. Now USA, though they were victorious and they defeated the Axis power, but they did not took any revenge. On the contrary, they started some economic revival of Germany and Japan. USSR came up for economic revival of Eastern European countries, those were suffered at the hand of World War II. So in this way, let us sum up what was the end of World War II. Now we can see the defeat and the end. Germans defeat in early 1943 in Stalingrad. Soviet forces were welcomed in Eastern Europe. Berlin, the capital of Germany, was captured. Hitler and his associates committed suicide. Germany was divided into two parts, East Germany called German Democratic Republic and West Germany called Federal Republic of Germany. Now children, so what were the consequences of world wars? There were many consequences. The most important is the political, economic and end of colonial era. There were a lot of change in the political arena and economic field, and there were end of a colonial era. in most part of the world. Now the victorious power, that is the Allied power, they formed UNM, United Nations Organization. One thing very important, that United Kingdom, England, which was considered to be a very powerful country in the world, now went down, and there was a rise of USA and USSR. In place of United Kingdom, USA and USSR came to the front like a governor of the world. USSR rebuilt its economy, which was started at the end of the World War II till World War First till World War II. It had rebuilt its economy in a very better way. The other important consequence of World War II was the enormous human cost. That is, lot of people died in World War II. Almost 10 million people were killed in World War I, and 25,000 Indian soldiers were killed on the side of Britain, because at that time India was colony of British, and British sent Indian forces to fight on the behalf of Allied forces. So 25,000 soldiers were also killed in Second World War. 20 to 25 million people died in World War II. So mainly the young people were killed. Men under 40, those who were working and earner of bread of a family, they were mostly killed. So there was a great burden of economic disaster in the world. The another thing was the world again came under the threat and fear of nuclear destruction, because there was a very tragic incident that took place in Japan, Hiroshima and Nagasaki. By seeing this, the world was under the fear of economic attack and nuclear destruction, and this destruction will lead to the economic decline throughout the world. The another important result of World War II was the democratic principle was asserted. Till now there were empire and the monarchy rule was there, like Ottoman Empire, German Empire, German and Turkey Empire. In this way we can see that these empires came to an end, and in this place of these empires, democratic form of government came into power. Austro-Hungarian, that was a very big and very widespread empire, that was also abolished, and democratic form of government came to exist. People understood the danger of undemocratic type of government. They understood undemocratic type of government can be autocratic, and they can bring disaster to their country. So they all favored democracy. So small countries who become independent from the hand of the colonial rule, they also favored to form a democratic type of government. Few countries like Russia and China, they become socialist and communist. They favored the thought of socialism and communism. Germany also overthrew monarchy and became republic. Ottoman was replaced by democratic and secular Turkey. Now it is clear that what were the changes came in the mindset of the people and the mindset of the leader after the First World War and also after the Second World War. So what were the consequences of the Second World War? Again we should repeat that there is a very widespread political, economic and colonial changes in the forefront of world. There was establishment of United Nations Organization, decline in the power of United Kingdom, and the rise in the power of USA and USSR, and USSR rebuilt its economy. There were enormous loss of human life, and democratic principle was established throughout the world. The countries which were under the colonial rule, they became independent, and they choose to form a democratic form of government. One of the other consequence of world wars was the enfranchisement of women, and they got this right in 1918. Women became powerful during these world wars because the men were in the battlefield and the women became the bread earner. They started to work in shops, factories, schools, colleges, hospitals. They were engaged in business, so they became the bread earner. So when they felt their importance, they started to ask for their rights. They started to raise their voice. So in this way we can see that the empowerment of women also took place during this era. They got the right to vote. They got the right to come in the public and raise their voice, and they also raised their voice for the participation in the parliament. In this way we can see that this was an important result for world wars. New international organization also came into existence, like UNO, United Nations Organization. It was established after Second World War, and it is a kind of government based on four principles. It is a kind of a world government based on four principles, that is preserving peace, upholding human rights, respecting international law, and promoting social progress. These are the four principles. Again I will repeat, children. Preserving peace. It will try to maintain peace in the continent and throughout the world. And upholding human rights, where there is a loss of human rights or curbing of human rights, it will come to the forefront to preserve it. Respecting international law, whatever the agreement should be done in the UNO, that should be followed by all the people of the world. And promoting social progress, it will always try to enhance the human life and standard of living. It works through four agencies. UNO works through four agencies, that is UNESCO, UNICEF, WHO, WHO, and ILO. Okay, the UNO, sometimes it is accused that it is one mere a tool in the hand of USA and USSR, but it still had a great hand in preventing future war and maintaining peace in the world as much as possible. So we have come to an end of our lesson number 12, that is world during wars, First World War and Second World War, the cause of these wars, the consequences of these wars, what is called economic depression. We have also read about the rise of fascism and Nazi in Germany. Revolution of Russia in 1917. So, and the formation of UNO. These are the important topics which we have read in this lesson. Hope you have liked my video, children. See you in my next video. Till then, goodbye. Please like, subscribe and share my channel. Thank you, children.